Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Business End Podcast. I am Rowan Lee hosting this time, and it's a new year and a new episode for us to get our teeth into. With me here, I have Matt Daly and Jake Albright. And how are we, gents? Are we good?
Yeah, doing great. Wasn't too happy with the referee's decision last night, but we'll get into that later on.
Yeah, certainly we'll get into that later on. I'm just glad that we've still got sport in these times, really, to keep us occupied anyway, so we don't lose our minds. This week was another round of Premier League matches, midweek matches, and just to name a few matches that stood out, certainly the Chelsea-Leicester one, and the Manchester City Villa one last night. So we're going to start off with the Leicester Chelsea match. What did we make of that then, guys? I mean, certainly Leicester have proven that they are worthy title contenders at least.
Yeah, I thought they were great, but there's two ways of looking at it. How great Leicester were, how bad Chelsea were. Just watching the game, the Chelsea players just didn't seem bothered. I don't know if that's down to their attitude or Frank Lampard just not getting the best out of them, motivating them before the game.
It was an odd one. I haven't seen Chelsea defend that poorly since the West Brom match this season. They Reece James, as much as he's a pretty good right back, he had an absolute shocker against Harvey Barnes.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. Well, it sounds simple. The way to stop Jamie Vardy is stop letting him get into space by himself. Stop letting him run in behind. They were just getting done by balls. Tielemans and Maddison ran the midfield again. They're looking back to what they were last season before Project Restart, so that's really good.
Yeah, that midfield is just so balanced, isn't it? NDD is the enforcer. Tielemans is your typical box-to-box. Then Maddison is your playmaker. I really like the look of that Leicester midfield.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I tweeted the other day actually saying that I think Ndidi could well be the most underrated Premier League midfielder at the moment, because every time he gets the ball, he just, I don't know, he can sort of do everything. He reminds me a little bit of Fabinho at Liverpool. He's good at tackling. He's a good all rounder, really. I feel, Ndidi, and he's only 24 as well, so he's still really young.
He does the job of two people in midfield, isn't it? They play a 4-1-4-1, and as the bank behind the more attacking four, he's perfect for Leicester. Really, he's not the Kante role when they had him alongside Drinkwater, but because he doesn't need someone else there. If a team did come in for him, it would have to be one of the Real Madrids or Barcelonas of this world, because he is that good, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's definitely Champions League level anyway, to say the least. So I mean, what do we make of James Maddison? Really, I mean, he has really come to the forefront, hasn't he, in this season so far? Anyway, I mean, last season he was brilliant, but this season he just seems to be getting better and better, doesn't he? What do we make of him?
Yeah, I thought he had a relatively poor start to the season for his standards, but recently he's been brilliant. He mentioned in his post-match interview how Brendan Rodgers wants him to run in behind more. I mean, we saw that for his goal. I just think his movement's top class off the ball. To get into the space behind the Chelsea line the way he did, then he's a great finish as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a brilliant finish. Yeah. Go on, Matt.
I was just going to reiterate what Jake said. He had a slow end to last season, a slow start to this season, but he had an injury, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
middle part of last season, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I think we're seeing him fully fit now, back in the team back in the setup that was working really well with him in it. And I think it also helps that Leicester's main injuries have all come back. Obviously, at the end of last season and the start of this season, they were struggling. they're playing the three at the back.
Yeah.
But now they've got a solid back four, and that midfield isn't changing every week. So I think that he's more settled.
Yeah, I mean, it's cliche, but momentum's so important in football. Leicester seem to have that with their team selection now. Just to have that consistency, knowing that pretty much the same players are going to be starting each week.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, they are looking force to be reckoned with, without a doubt. So, I mean, let's move on to Chelsea then, because, I mean, obviously there was loads of hype and stuff with Frank Lampard coming in. He seemed to start off well, to be fair to him. He had a good few results, but recently he's got a lot of stick, really, and not just from everyone else. I mean, from Chelsea fans as well. What do we see? What do we think's wrong with Chelsea at the moment? I mean, can we put our finger on it, or what is it? Or do they just need time to settle in with the new signings? What is it?
I think it's a bit. It goes back to the point that said Leicester. There doesn't seem to be a consistent team selection with Chelsea. So he had Seema in for a while. Seema comes out, the team really goes in. He doesn't seem to know his best front three, whether it's Werner through the middle, Abraham or Giroud. He's got Pulisic, Ziyech, and Hudson-Odoi options out wide, but he keeps switching them. I just think he needs to settle on a team and just pick them for a good run of games.
Yeah. And what do you think then, Matt? What do you think the problem is? Do you think Frank Lampard is good enough to be the Chelsea manager? Do you think he should be given more time?
Thinking is he a good enough manager is a different question, because I think one season at Derby County, of which he had 4 or 5 Premier League standard players on loan and not even getting them promoted, isn't good enough to then be thrown into the Champions League.
Yeah,
but he needs to be given time. And the players he's brought in, like Havertz, Ziyech, Werner, all need time to settle in. I'll look at Tottenham. Last season, everyone's saying Ndombele was a flop, but now we're seeing how good he can be in the Premier League. You've got to think that Havertz is 23, is he?
26, he is. Yeah, he's still very young. Yeah,
he's had less than half a season in the Premier League, and I think, as Jay said, they need a settled team. I think the defense is probably the most settled they've had. Mendy, Chilwell, and Thiago Silva. Obviously, surprising that Zuma has had such a good season and he didn't play. Was he injured?
No, I think he's still fit, but Frank's just fit picking really ahead of him, which I don't really understand.
And the front three, as a Bristol City fan, I'm annoyed that we're playing Naki Wells out wide. Why are you playing a £72 million striker on the left in a position that he hasn't played, I don't think, since he first signed for Leipzig?
Yeah.
You're playing Mason Mount as a part of a double pivot, which you're giving him so much of a job to do in midfield, when him and Kovacic are both lightweights, really, aren't they? They're not big enforcers. So
they're not. They're very
When your midfield can get blown over, and you're chopping and changing your front four now. It is not. Obviously, last season they played 3 in midfield. Now they've gone to a 4-2-3-1. It's weird to say, but they need 2 more signings in midfield, even though they've made loads of signings.
I thought they were missing Kante massively on Tuesday. They don't really seem to have a ready-made Kante replacement for when he's not in the team.
Yeah,
he just Kovacic on Tuesday night. He's meant to be that guy that's doing defensive work. He just wasn't.
Yeah. Kante just seems to balance out the team, doesn't he? Really, he's just sort of it makes you realise how important he is to the team when he's not playing, because it certainly makes a difference within that Chelsea setup. But going back to the Havertz and Werner and so, I mean, these guys are still really young. They've come from a foreign country. They're coming into and obviously with COVID as well, situation going on at the moment. I mean, I do think we need to give them time, really. Because I mean, I saw something the other day. Someone was saying, Werner's time at Chelsea could be up, and I was thinking, well, that's just ridiculous. I mean, you've got to give players time. I mean, Chelsea have got a reputation as well for getting rid of players. I mean, look at the class De Bruyne, for example, Mo Salah. They've got rid of very good players in the past.
I think that's a problem in itself. You spend 200 million in summer, expectations naturally going to rise. So I don't think Chelsea had the leaders in that team. Now you got Thiago Silva. Who else in that Chelsea team that starts week in, week out would you class as a natural leader? I don't think there's many.
No, you're right. Yeah, there isn't a lot. No, not a lot at all. And Thiago Silva, I mean, he's as well coming to another country, hasn't it? I don't think his English is that great as well. So it's difficult at the moment for Chelsea, I'd say, and Frank Lampard.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
I think one of the main reasons they're missing a bit of enforcement in defence as well is that Cesar Azpilicueta, who's I think he's in his 9th or 10th year at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, he's been there about a decade, hasn't he? Yeah.
He's played 10 Premier League games this season. He's played half of the games, and it might not. Is he losing his legs? Is age catching up with him now? Maybe, but is he still a better defender than Antonio Rudiger and Kurt Zuma? Probably.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. You look at that second Leicester goal. He's pretty much just one straight ball over the top to Maddison. Like, from a Chelsea perspective, he shouldn't be in that easy. I think that just comes down to a lack of leadership throughout the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely. They are certainly missing leaders, especially at the back as well. I mean, with Azpilicueta, they certainly need to get him back, I'd say. Let's talk about this title race then, because I'll tell you what, I don't know about you guys, but this is probably the most open Premier League season I've seen. Every single team within, I'd even go as far to say maybe the top 7, 6, 7 are looking like not necessarily title winners, but looking like they could certainly pose a threat to either the top 4 or the teams that are at the top at the moment. What do we make? What do we make of it? It's pretty exciting, to be fair.
Yeah, it's incredible. It seems like there's a new team on top of the league every other week, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's pretty mad. I mean, it's who's on top now? It's Man United are on top now.
But we're filming this before the Liverpool game. As it stands, the top 6 is Man United top on 40 points from 19 games. Man City second on 38 from 18. Leicester third below City on goal difference on 38 from 19. Liverpool fourth on 34 from 18. Tottenham fifth on 33 from 18. And then it goes down to Everton sixth on 32 from 17. So realistically, looking at the points totals, you'd say any one of those teams has a chance to win the league going into the second half. Yeah,
certainly. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it now, and I mean, I don't think they'll win the league, but they've got a good chance getting a European space, definitely. Southampton, who are 9th, they got 29 points. I mean, that's pretty impressive, that really.
I don't really think there'd be many points difference between, say, 11th, 12th in the league going up to 3rd or 4th. I think you'll stay congested really for the rest of the season.
I said in a podcast, one of our first podcasts, that I only see Man City and Liverpool in the title race. And I was telling my friends this, that if you think anything different, you're a football romantic, and I'm definitely not one of them. But looking at this league right now, seeing Man United top of the league, and seeing Liverpool without a win in 4 matches and only winning half their league matches.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Like Jurgen Klopp said, it wasn't a disastrous start to the season, but it's not been a good one. You've drew 7 of the 18 matches, mate. Like, that's Rafa Benitez. Like, one of Liverpool's biggest problems. I think it was at 08-09 season when they finished 4 points behind United. They just drew drew they lost 2 matches. They drew so many games that season.
What do you think that's down to? Down to the lack of that defensive stability, or
it's I don't know. I don't know whether it's the. I mean, to be fair, I thought the defence the other day against Man United with Liverpool. I thought Fabinho and Henderson were brilliant. To be fair, I think at the moment, I mean, me being a Liverpool fan, at the moment I'm watching it and I'm thinking it's the front three. They're just they're not putting the ball in the back of the net. I don't know what that's down to. I don't know what's going on. I mean, but I personally think that Liverpool really need Diogo Jota back, because when he was playing, he was actually scoring goals. And I think at the moment, the main thing.
He just brings that sense of energy to the team, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Definitely.
Obviously, Liverpool had two amazing seasons the past 2 years. It was 197 points, was it? In the past 2 years?
Crazy. Yeah, crazy amount.
And even the year before that, no, so I'm trying to think now. Was that Salah's first year was when they finished second, wasn't it?
Salah's been at Liverpool for about three seasons.
This is
Salah's first year was when they finished fourth. Did he get 32 goals in that season?
Yeah, he broke the record, didn't he, for most goals in a season?
Yeah.
You got to think that those front three have played basically every match for over 3 seasons now.
Yeah.
And everyone was thinking, if there's an injury in that Liverpool front three, how they fare? But it's not been an injury. It's just been they've played must be 120 games in the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
at least they've had 2 Champions League finals. They've had obviously 3 full Premier League seasons. There's obviously going to be a slowdown. But I think they do need Diogo Jota as well. But I think the main problem, in my opinion, is that they've got 66% of the midfield that won them the league are playing centre back at the moment.
I know it's obvious, but they are certainly missing Van Dijk at the back. I think just the leadership as well. Not necessarily Gomez though. I wouldn't say Gomez. I mean, because I think Fabinho is an excellent centre back. I mean, I'd like to see maybe if Virgil van Dijk does come back sooner than expected, maybe Van Dijk and Fabinho at the back, because Fabinho at the moment, I've got a lot more faith in than Gomez, to be fair, playing centre back.
Lack of continuity in midfield.
Yeah, it is.
Last season you had Henderson and Fabinho there pretty much the whole year. Then that has a knock-on effect then for the fullbacks. Because when Liverpool are playing, you see Henderson covering for Trent Alexander-Arnold all the time. So Trent goes forward, Henderson drops in. With Henderson not in midfield, Trent's not able to do that as much. And we've seen that with the lack of through goals and assists for him this season.
You could see Liverpool were in trouble when they played Sheeran and Shaqiri from the start against Man United.
Yeah.
As much as I love him as a player, you can see how trouble there. He's coming from basically 2 years of nothing.
Yeah.
To playing in probably the biggest game in the past 2 years for him.
I know. I think he certainly needs to play more for Liverpool. I don't know why Klopp doesn't play him for some reason. There's certainly something there anyway. But yeah, he is. There's no doubt he's a very good player, and he does need to play more for LFC. Right. Okay. So let's move on to this weekend actually, because there's a massive few games in the FA Cup, and let's start off with the most shocking one of the two. Cheltenham Town are going to be welcoming Man City to Whaddon Road. What do we make of this, guys? Are we going to be watching? I'm sure we're all going to be watching it. Have Cheltenham got a chance? A realistic chance?
What city are they playing against? If it's Gloucester City, then maybe. But
Manchester City. But yeah, what do we think? Go on, Matt. What do you think?
I'm up for the hype. I've seen that John Palmer from Cheltenham Live was saying the pitch is going to be really bad because of the weather, and they played on it a few days ago.
Yeah.
But so I'm just hoping like long balls maybe can help Cheltenham. But Man City are professional. They've played teams like Newport County, Oxford United, and a few others in the past few years in cup matches, and they've got the job done quite comfortably. So, and I don't think Cheltenham have won in 6 matches now in the league. They're still in the decent. I think they're still in the playoff positions in League Two, but yeah.
It's well, this will be the first ever competitive meeting between Cheltenham and Manchester City, and the Robins have lost all 8 of their League Cup and FA Cup meetings with opponents that have been in the top flight. So it's certainly not going to be an easy game for Cheltenham, but they've got a realistic chance. I mean, at the end of the day, football's a funny game and anything can happen. But I think Man City have got that one. What do you think, Jake? What's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, similar to Matt. Really, you'd expect Man City to come through comfortably. I mean, they've made 11 changes. They can still put out a team that would finish a 7th, 8th in the Premier League, even if they change the whole team from the team they put out and say if they're going into the Champions League final. So
yeah, they've got depth, haven't they?
From a fan perspective, it's just a shame that the fans can't be there for the game. I think that would have made a huge difference with the fans being there and just being a behind closed doors match. Like that takes away a lot for Cheltenham.
Yeah, I saw John Palmer on Twitter, the Cheltenham Town media for the local paper, saying that the police are going to be patrolling the area so fans don't hang around Wooden Road for the players to come along. But
that happened with the Marine game, didn't it? When the players
Marine had loads of fans there, you can see it. But just
I'm sure there'll be some fans there chancing their arm, maybe.
If there were fans in the ground, my word, it would be.
Yeah, some atmosphere, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
but we because of course we all wish Cheltenham Town the best of luck on Saturday evening. We'll all be watching that, of course. But like Jake said, it's just a shame that the stadium will be empty, unfortunately. But the fans can watch online, I think, can't they? There's an online
virtual
ticket, I think. Yeah, virtual.
You can buy to help support Cheltenham and basically allow them to recoup the money they would have had fans been in the stadium. Yeah,
which is a good idea, really. It's a good move from Cheltenham, really. That. But yeah, so that's the big one on Saturday anyway, and then we've got a big one on Sunday. Of course, 2 of the most successful clubs in English history. Liverpool travelling to Old Trafford to play bitter rivals, Manchester United, after just playing them the other weekend as well. How do we see this one going, then? Yeah, I know. It's one of them, isn't it? We just seem to hype the games up, and then it ends up being like just a 0-0 or something, and it's just like, oh right, okay, well, we'll just hype it up anyway because it's Liverpool, Man United, like Barcelona, Real Madrid, that sort of thing. You hype it up and it ends up being a draw. But how do we realistically, if someone was going to win this game, who do we think is going to win it?
You don't really know. It depends really on the teams that the 2 managers put out. Who's going to take the competition more seriously? Both are still in the title race. Will either Klopp or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer see the FA Cup as a distraction from the league? And I do think Liverpool will have better squad depth. So if we're going to bank on anyone, it will probably be Liverpool.
Okay.
Jurgen Klopp doesn't take any cup competition besides the Champions League seriously, does he? And they can rotate the squad, but they'll have like Divock Origi, Xherdan Shaqiri, Minamino, Curtis Jones in the team. I think Solskjaer understands what this game is more than Klopp understands what Liverpool, and he understands the FA Cup more, I think. So I think United will not go out as the strongest 11, but they'll have a good enough team out to beat the majority.
We all remember the old derbies. They used to be quite fiery, whereas nowadays they're not as, there isn't that same sort of feeling around them anymore. Might just be me, but I don't know. But anyway, yeah, we hope that it's not a boring 0-0, and we hope someone wins that game. I mean, for me, hopefully Liverpool win the game. But yeah, at the moment, I don't know. Man United are playing very well. They're doing really well.
Well, going back to the previous point, Klopp took the Liverpool the Villa game seriously, didn't he? Played a fairly strong team in that one. Is that a sign that maybe this season he will be looking to win the cup, win the FA Cup?
Possibly, yeah, maybe because he hasn't won the FA Cup, has he, Liverpool? So
No.
Yeah, maybe he's thinking maybe the league might be a bit out of reach this season. Champions League, can't really see that happening. So yeah, maybe go for the domestic cup competitions. They might have a better chance of that. But yeah, certainly want to keep an eye on anyway. But that's on Sunday evening. Okay, so let's move on then now to Matt. You want to talk about the cricket?
Yeah.
I'll let you crack on then, because it seems that it's all happening. It's all going off in the cricket.
We've had
what you got your eye on?
Week. Oh, we've had an excellent week in cricket. If you didn't wake up with me and a few other England fans at 3:00 to watch this in Sri Lanka, you may have missed. Well, 2021 is a massive year for England in Test cricket and in limited overs. There's a World Cup at the end of the year, but we've also got a minimum 16 Test matches this year. The first one was a win away in Sri Lanka. The next game starts tomorrow morning. Joe Root, the captain, big year for him. Started off with a 226, which is, I think, England's third biggest score from away from home in history. So obviously that's excellent.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That
the spinners, which will be massive against India in February, because we got a 5-match against them. They got to a slow start. Best to take a fifer on the first day, but as I said, it was a slow start. They didn't bowl the best they could. But what I was more looking at is probably I think I've been seeing Sky Sports said it was the second best Test series in history. Australia versus India ended a few days ago, but India with their third string team, with their best batsman, maybe the best batsman in the world right now in Virat Kohli, and their captain Virat Kohli, back at home with his wife for the birth of his third child, I think it is. They had all their bowlers out injured, and they've gone to Australia and they've won 2-1 with, I think, 3 debutants in a massive game at the Gabba, which Australia they don't lose that. So India lost the first Test match embarrassingly, and have somehow turned it around with a bunch of, unless you watch Indian cricket closely, you won't really heard of many of the bowlers really, which is an unbelievable series really. Rishabh Pant and Pujara being the stars really for the Indians the past few days.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at it now. Certainly, certainly go down in history without a doubt. They chased down a victory target of 328.
Yeah, it was. I think when I started watching it, I think it started at midnight. I was thinking it's probably going to be a very boring day. They're going to bat the day out. They're going to take the Test draw. They're going to take the draw in the series, and they'll be happy. But with Rishabh Pant, he doesn't understand what being conservative is. He looks to score every ball, and he's got a massive future in the sport. He's already, I think in 2018, we saw what he could do. He scored 150 over in England off, I think, only 130 balls. So he's going to be one for the future, definitely. But it's a good sign for England. We've got India next. They're going to be high off that win. But at the end of the year, we've got the Ashes in Australia, and they're going to be angry because they lost.
they will want to take some sort of revenge.
They will be taking revenge on us badly.
They don't take it too well, do they? No. It's certainly one to keep an eye on anyway. And and it's all like I said, it's all going off in the cricket at the moment. But no, good. It all sounds good, that Matt. Right, okay. before we go, we just want to talk about some of the transfers at the moment in football. Going back to football, because there's a few sagas going on right now which are making the headlines. Of course, we've got the Özil going to Fenerbahce. We've got Ramos is sort of, I'm not quite sure what is going on there with the, like, standoff, say, with Real Madrid. And then we've got David Alaba as well, who's looking to leave Bayern Munich. What do you guys have your eye on? Which transfer news do you sort of are you looking at the moment? Jake, I'll start with you.
That Alaba one's interesting because I've seen his dream destination's Real Madrid. Real Madrid have held talks with him, but then you got teams like Liverpool could do with the centre back option. Man United maybe one short centre back. I feel like he'll end up at Real Madrid. I feel like he seems like a great replacement for Ramos for him if he ends up leaving in the summer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if he it seems like a good replacement for Ramos. What do you see the situation happening with Ramos at the moment, Matt? Because it seems like a bit of a standoff between the captain and his beloved Madrid. What do you think is going to happen with that? Do you think he's going to leave, or do you reckon he'll stay?
Well, Real Madrid aren't the most loyal team, are they? I mean,
no.
the way they kicked Iker Casillas out the club still angers me. I think he's what, 34, 35 now, Ramos?
Real Madrid only want to offer him 1 year. Ramos wants 2 years.
Yeah.
That just sounds petty, in my opinion. Just like,
he's 35 now, Ramos.
Yeah, the club capped him. They need to keep him on. He personifies Real Madrid. You hate to love him, really, don't you? You hate him for his actions, but he's so good when he's on his day.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't sign, Real Madrid need a centre back, and Alaba doesn't want to sign for Bayern Munich. So I think, I won't say they're the same type of player, but they're both good on the ball. Alaba probably actually quite a lot better on the ball. Alaba's left-footed compared to Ramos. I don't see him fitting in well at Real Madrid, though. I don't think he's got the charisma or the personality to fit in a side of prima donnas, really, compared to Alaba, who's been at Bayern since 2011, hasn't he? And he's just been plodding along, being such a great utility player. I think he should come to England, really.
If he was going to come to England, where would he go then, do you think?
It's odd because Liverpool's best centre-back plays on the left in Van Dijk.
Yeah.
And Man United's best centre-back plays on the left in Maguire. So unless you want to swap Van Dijk to the right, which obviously is an option.
He's right-footed, isn't he? So I think that you think naturally that would be his best position.
Yeah.
Centre-back.
I would love to see him in the Premier League, but I honestly, he could end up at someone like Inter Milan. They play three at the back. They need.
Yeah.
I think they do need one more centre back at Inter. Bastoni isn't good enough at the moment. I think give him a few more years. I'd love to see him at Inter Milan as well. I love what they're doing, but I think Ramos will stay at Real Madrid, and Alaba will hopefully find himself a good team that people like to watch.
Yeah, definitely. Wolves are close to a loan deal for Real Sociedad's Willian Jose, 29. I think they're giving him the option to buy as well with that. What do you make of that, Jake?
I think they need it, and they've obviously been short of the strikers since Jimenez suffered that awful head fracture. So I think it makes sense all round, really. Jose's not really getting the games he needs at Real Sociedad. There's an option to play week in, week out at Wolves. Experienced striker for him. I think it does really make sense.
Yeah. What do you think of that deal, Matt? Do you reckon it's good for both parties?
Yeah, I think it's good for both parties. I think Wolves needed a striker of that type. He's big, he's strong, he can win in the air, but he's decent with his feet. I've seen Sociedad a few times last season more. But the thing that I would worry about maybe is that he might not get the supply he deserves. I think Jimenez did a lot of work by himself. I think I don't see Jose doing the same. So I was surprised that Wolves didn't actually go in for Luka Jovic, really, because I think he's the exact same player as Raul Jimenez, maybe a bit quicker, but obviously he's gone back to Frankfurt and he's already scoring goals for him. So I think they may have missed a trick there, but I think it's a good signing.
Right. The problem is with him joining mid-season. How quickly can he settle into the Premier League?
Yeah, that is a problem. They've struggled badly since.
It's one win in 8 for him since that Jimenez injury against Arsenal.
Yeah. Was that one win in the Arsenal match as well?
No, they beat Chelsea 2-1. Neto scored in the last minute for him.
Yeah, remember that. With Jose going out, the one interesting one for Sociedad bringing in is Martin Ødegaard. Madrid want to loan him out, and he wants to go back to where he was last season at Sociedad, and I think I think he's comfortable there, and it's really good. I think Arsenal were linked with him as well.
They've made an approach for him. Yeah,
Arsenal needing a playmaker, and they let their best one go out to Turkey. Just Arsenal things, isn't it?
It is. It is. They just seem to shoot themselves in the foot all the time, don't they? But I mean, like going back to Ødegaard though, I mean, he's only 22, isn't he? He's still really young.
Seems like he's been around forever. Joined round with his 15-year-old, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he joined. Yeah, like you said, it does. It feels like he's been around forever, doesn't it?
I think he's only 22.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Right, yeah, that is definitely one to keep an eye on, that Martin Ødegaard one. Well, I'll tell you what, that just about does it. Actually, there is lots more here, but we could maybe do like a special transfer podcast, maybe. Maybe next week, or it would be this next week now, won't it? So yeah, we could do that. Don't know whether you guys are up for that.
Yeah,
definitely.
We could do that. Just chat about a few of the big transfers around the world at the moment. But yeah, that just about does it. Thank you, gents, for turning up. It's good to hear your voices again.
No problem. It's been a while, hasn't it?
All right.
Yeah, it has. But hopefully we'll start getting a few more podcasts out now. So yeah, thanks lads for being here, and thank you for listening, all you lot who are listening. But yeah, thanks very much, guys. Take care.
Cheers.